stick so I can draw the line. I can't let it bring me down.
The story unfolds with an intensity that grips both the heart and imagination, beginning with what was supposed to be an ordinary Sunday morning and transforming into a moment that shook an entire congregation to its core. Pastor Charles Jenkins, known for his powerful voice and passionate preaching, suddenly collapsed in the middle of his sermon, leaving the sanctuary in shock. What followed was a chain reaction of fear, confusion, and desperate prayer as people fought to make sense of what they had just witnessed. His collapse did not just interrupt a sermon, it broke the rhythm of a community that relied on his strength. And as uncertainty filled the air, a much bigger conversation began about leadership, exhaustion, faith, and the unseen battles carried behind confident smiles. The moment of collapse inside the sanctuary was alive with energy, filled with worship, music, and the familiar rhythm of Pastor Jenkins's passionate preaching. Everything seemed normal until subtle signs began to surface. His voice trembled, his grip on the pulpit tightened, and his posture shifted as though he was trying to steady himself. Many assumed it was emotion, perhaps the weight of the message. But within seconds, the atmosphere shattered. His body gave out, and he fell forward, hitting the ground as screams erupted throughout the church. People rushed toward the pulpit in disbelief, praying and crying, hoping it was merely faintness. Eyewitnesses said the moment felt unreal, like an entire room frozen in time. Medical volunteers sprinted to him, checking his pulse while ushers tried to calm the chaos. In the span of a breath, a vibrant place of worship became a room trembling with fear, revealing just how deeply the congregation loved their pastor. The race to save him and the hospital's tense silence, paramedics arrived swiftly, weaving through panicked members and entering a sanctuary transformed into an emergency scene. Moments earlier filled with joyful praise, the room now echoed with sobs and whispered prayers. As paramedics lifted Pastor Jenkins onto a stretcher, the congregation followed, tears streaming, unable to grasp how quickly their strong leader had fallen. Outside, flashing ambulance lights painted the night with urgency. At the hospital, doctors worked intensely to stabilize him, but updates were minimal, only confirming that he was alive but in critical condition. This silence left the church emotionally suspended, desperate for news that never seemed to come. Inside the ice, his family kept constant watch, clinging to hope while holding their grief quietly. His wife, though heartbroken, remained composed as she asked the church to stay prayerful. The weight of unspoken fear settled heavily on everyone as hours passed without answers. Social media erupts and rumors take flight. Within minutes of the collapse, videos from inside the church flooded social media, igniting a nationwide wave of shock. Hashtags like #PrayForJenkins trended rapidly as thousands of people posted prayers, encouragement, and memories of how his ministry had impacted their lives. But along with heartfelt support came a flood of speculation. People questioned what had caused such a sudden collapse. Some suggested an undisclosed health condition, others blamed stress or ministry conflicts. The lack of clear information from the hospital only fed the speculation further, allowing rumors to grow louder. The incident soon escalated from a medical emergency to a heated online debate. The internet magnified every whisper, twisting fear into theory and concern into controversy. The story had spread far beyond the walls of Fellowship Church, leaving the congregation struggling to separate truth from noise as uncertainty darkened the digital world. Signs of exhaustion and the burden of leadership. As discussions grew, insiders began revealing that Pastor Jenkins had been pushing himself relentlessly in the weeks leading to his collapse. His schedule was overflowing, traveling, preaching, attending meetings, fulfilling music commitments, and still trying to care for his congregation. Many now realized he had shown signs of exhaustion long before that Sunday, but he kept moving, refusing to slow down. His dedication, often praised, suddenly appeared in a new light, a silent burden carried alone. People began questioning the pressures placed on pastors who feel obligated to stay strong, even when their bodies plead for rest. His collapse became a painful reminder that leaders are human too, vulnerable to stress and fatigue, no matter how spiritually strong they appear. The incident forced the community to confront a deeper truth. Pastors often give so much that there is little left for themselves. Hope in the ice and a community holding its breath. Inside the ice, every slight movement brought hope, tiny twitches, brief shifts, faint eye responses. These small signs kept his family and church leaders going through agonizing hours. Doctors remained cautious, warning that the next 24 hours were critical. Meanwhile, the gospel community rallied with powerful unity. Prominent leaders, artists, and churches sent prayers, videos, and messages of encouragement. Outside Fellowship Church, members gathered with candles, singing softly through tears as they clung to faith. Families stood side by side, forming prayer circles that lasted through the night. The emotional weight was overwhelming. It felt as though the entire community was collectively holding its breath. To many, losing their pastor was unimaginable. The hospital became a battleground, medicine fighting inside, faith fighting outside, and everyone waited for the miracle they believed was possible. The public debate and division in the gospel community. As support continued pouring in, another side of the controversy began growing online. Some insisted the church should be more transparent about his condition, feeling the silence created unnecessary fear. Others believed the family deserved privacy and criticized those demanding answers. The debate became even more intense when people started discussing the pressures placed on pastors, especially those leading large congregations. Critics pointed out that pastors are often expected to be endlessly available, emotionally strong, and spiritually steady, roles nearly impossible to maintain without personal cost. This incident highlighted the harsh reality of pastoral burnout and the unrealistic standards often placed on spiritual leaders. These conversations caused divisions. Some focused on prayer and faith, while others emphasized accountability and systemic change. What began as concern for Jenkins's health evolved into a broader, emotional discussion about the structure and demands of modern ministry. Church leaders faced the possibility of a future without him. Behind closed doors, church elders quietly grappled with decisions they never expected to face. Doctors hinted that a full recovery would require significant rest, possibly months away from the pulpit. This forced leaders to discuss difficult topics: temporary replacements, shifting responsibilities, and even succession planning if necessary. The thought of the church functioning without Pastor Jenkins felt overwhelming. His voice, leadership, and presence had shaped the ministry for years, creating a deep sense of dependence. Yet his collapse revealed a truth many had ignored. The weight of the church rested too heavily on one person. Leaders realized they needed a more balanced structure, one that didn't require their pastor to shoulder everything alone. These private conversations were filled with both sorrow and determination as they sought ways to guide the congregation forward while praying desperately for his recovery. A spiritual reckoning and lessons in human limits. As prayers continued nationwide, a deeper reflection began unfolding within the church and beyond. Many saw this incident as a powerful reminder that even the strongest spiritual leaders are human, capable of breaking, hurting, and needing rest. Some viewed the collapse as a divine wake-up call, urging churches to stop pushing their leaders to unrealistic limits. Others believed it was a moment for humility and unity, reminding the congregation to support rather than depend entirely on their pastor. The event sparked conversations about leadership boundaries, shared responsibility, and the importance of protecting the well-being of those who guide others. While opinions varied, everyone felt the weight of the moment. This was no longer simply about one man's medical emergency. It had become a message about the balance between faith, responsibility, and human fragility. The collapse that changed more than a sermon, Pastor Jenkins's collapse, became a turning point, not just for his church, but for the entire gospel community. It forced people to confront the hidden battles spiritual leaders face and the emotional toll that ministry often demands. His uncertain recovery, the overwhelming support, and the nationwide discussions revealed the deep influence he had on countless lives. The incident transformed a routine Sunday into a moment that challenged long-held assumptions about strength, leadership, and faith. Whether seen as a health crisis or a divine warning, the message was unmistakable. Even the strongest cannot walk alone. As the church continued praying, hoping, and adjusting, one truth echoed through every conversation. This moment would reshape how they approached ministry, community, and the weight of spiritual responsibility for years to come.